What's up, everybody? Happy Saturday. I don't know how many people are going to come on because I haven't done a Facebook Live on a Saturday for quite some time. But I'm up. I'm super excited to have a lunch date with my daughter, which we've just planned in advance that we're going down the city to have lunch together. And I have a client in a little bit. Typically don't have clients on Saturday, but I want to share something that I feel is overlooked a lot of the times because we're always looking for solutions and we don't want to look into the things that are uncomfortable. And, we're always like, just show me what's going to feel good. Show me what's going to be exciting. Show me what's going to make me feel better right now. And a lot of people really aren't willing to go through, which is the only way to get to where you want to be and what you want to feel, right? So I just want to share these two key things. And I've really built all of my work based on these foundational teachings, and I feel like life has put me into the path that I needed to go through. Like my soul knew that I had to go through these things in order to be a true teacher of these things. If I had an excellent life and everything was loving and affectionate and sweet, and I felt like I was the most worthy woman in the world, I wouldn't be the teacher that I am today, right? So I want to share some ways that you may be standing in your way. You don't even know, it's unconscious, but it's because you don't feel like you really deserve it. But why don't you feel like you really deserve it? So there's two key energies, emotions that show up. And the funny thing is, and it's not really funny, but it's kind of like once you get it, you're like, holy crap, I can't believe I've been carrying this with me, is that we tend to carry things from our moms, our dads, our grandparents. It's like deep, deep, deep in there. So if you're staying on for this teaching, or if you're here, let me know, because I know people hop off and on. Let me know that you're here, and let's go into this. I'm drinking my, this is really funny. I've been pouring my coffee for the longest in this little mug that my friend gave me because it like makes me drink less coffee, but I always just feel like it's so delicate and easy. So, hi, Kate. Okay, let's go into this teaching. So, no matter what you're looking at, whether you're looking at someone that's struggling with health issues, right? I have clients that come to me for wanting to make more money, and it turns out that they have this little shameful thing around eating too much food or the way that they've treated their body. People come to me because they say that I keep attracting the wrong kind of men, or I don't know why I just have this breakup and I feel like I'm obsessing over it. And we find out it's still connected to these same things. I have people that just come to me and it's really because their business isn't working, and it's not because they don't have the strategy. It still comes back to these two key things. So the two key things are guilt and shame. Guilt and shame are the two energies. And I want to just talk about how this shows up unconsciously in your life, right? Now, if we were conscious of everything, then, we could just turn it off. We could give it the love it needs. But these things are very unconscious at times because it's things that don't feel good. So we just kind of try to patch it up like it's a little wound on our shoulder. And we're just like, I'm going to put a little Band-Aid here. I'm going to go through life. I'm going to pretend he didn't say that to me. Or I'm going to pretend that breakup didn't make me feel this way. Or I'm going to pretend that I'm not upset with myself for treating myself that way. Now, this shows up huge in people who have been neglected or abused as children, people that have been in relationships that don't feel good, people that have struggled with addiction. It's huge. Hi, Brandy. Hi, Lydia. So I want to know if you can relate and you're conscious of feeling guilty and shameful in your life. I am 100%, right? So one thing I developed in my own path and knowing was that I couldn't figure out why I couldn't make certain amounts of money. And it was frustrating. And I would read all the prosperity books. I was reading and watching The Secret all the time. I mean, hell, my teacher is one of the teachers in The Secret. But I was like, why am I not getting this? Why can't I do it? What is it? Is it just me? Do I not deserve this? Am I not meant to have these great things in life? And what I uncovered in the deep digging, in the crying and all the crap was that I felt really shameful about my past. I felt really shameful. And shame shows up in a lot of sneaky ways, right? And this is where I say how it's really sneaky, is that even when I was just in Bali, we went through some shamanic breathing. And I don't know if you guys ever done shamanic breathing. I don't know if it was just because I was open. Within a minute of this breathing, I dropped into some really icky places, and I was able to feel that I had this anger about my family's fear that had been running my family for so long, generational patterns of addiction and overeating and shitty relationships and abuse in relationships. I saw it, and it's not that I had never seen this before. I was totally unaware of it. It's I felt a new texture of it. And I just want to remind you that guilt and shame are two energies and emotions that we end up creating identities around because we feel like I'm bad and I don't deserve that. I did wrong, so I don't deserve this. I did this, so why would I ever belong in this group of people who are doing these great things? And we will subconsciously shut ourselves down and hold ourselves back from things. We won't fully say yes. We won't feel like we belong there. So it's really returning to innocence. And I have to tell you guys this, that you probably won't be able to do it on your own. You're going to need support. It doesn't mean that you hire me as a coach. It could mean that you are committed to going to certain classes that are in your area that allow you to go into subconscious places, allow you to get out of your conscious waves, your brain waves that are keeping you in all of the noise of your everyday, that are keeping you somewhat safe in the spaces of, this is what I have to do, this is what I have to be, this is what I have to focus on. It can be challenging, you don't know how to get there, right? You have to feel really safe, you have to be really open, and then you start seeing, oh, this is how I really feel. I haven't given myself permission to feel that. So right now, here's what I know for sure. Each and every one of us has unlimited resources available to us. Literally, you're probably 5 phone calls away from having a totally different life, right? And totally different life can look in a lot of ways. It depends who you're calling, what you're asking, the conversations on the phone call. How bold are you? What are you really feeling like is available to you? You know, when I talk to women who are in business, we look at their business and we find that they're not really showing up for their business. Or if we really start looking at their business and getting really honest, they're not in alignment with their business. I just did a whole episode, I recorded it right before I came on to do this live, about what does it really mean to be in alignment and flow. So I'll save that whole analogy and that feeling for the podcast episode that's coming out on Wednesday, guys. So check it out. But I want you to start looking at your identity. And what are some things in the past that you may not be fully okay with, right? This is what I really find too, is that I look at women who reach out to me and they've gone through so much stuff and they're on the other end. They went through the tunnel, they went through the darkness, they went through the ickiness, the stickiness, but they haven't really fully owned it in a way to help other people. And when I talk to people like that, I'm like, don't you see that there's such a big calling on your life? These things just didn't happen so that you could be upset about it or so that you could kind of stuff them away and put them on the shelf. You've been conditioned and cultivated to now help people, right? That's what I really believe in the deepest places of my own truth. So I want to invite you to look at these places where you may have bottled them up, put them on the shelf of your subconscious world and thought, you know what? This is just icky. This is ugly. I don't want to work with this anymore. I'm going to pretend this didn't happen. And you guys, you know that I'm a living testament of this because that book and all of those people that gave me love and wrote all that sweet stuff on that little card and everything that my business is built on are things that I was ashamed of. That's freaking crazy, right? You don't have to be perfect. We're not looking for perfection in this world. We're looking for people who really care, people who are authentic, and authenticity has been thrown around. And this is the craziest thing. I'm going to do a whole other Facebook Live on this. But in the past year, so many people that have been well known, I'm talking people with millions of followers, I'm talking about people that have top shows, podcasts, all these things. It's been uncovered that they're not even living in integrity, right? Because being authentic, being vulnerable has been this thing where people are it's a trend. So what I'm inviting you to do is forget about all these trends and this bullshit that's happening out in the external world and go inside. What's that what's that little quote? Hopo nopo ono, hopo nopo pono. That is a thing that's supposedly like, you know, it's helping people go through the whole guilt and shame and forgiveness and connecting to people, right? But I have to tell you that if you don't really sit in that and allow yourself to go through all of the stages and really embody what it feels like to move through the stages of the Ho'oponopono deal, you won't really have the healing, right? You can post a little meme of it, you can post the image, you can quote it, but if you're not allowing yourself to move through the stages, you don't really reach there. So what I'm doing, especially not only with my clients, but what I'm doing in this exclusive training I'm doing with these 3 women. And by the way, there's still space in that. There's people that have not committed totally yet. So until they're committed, message me if you're interested. This is a paid opportunity. This is a paid investment. It's going to transform you as a woman. It's going to transform you as a teacher. And it's going to have ripple effects in your life and the people that you work with forever. Okay? So this is a really important investment. And also, not only that, I am giving myself in 2 private sessions before and after the training. So besides that, that's not going to happen in the future opportunities, right? So we're going to look at how to put this into your business, but beyond your business, into your whole legacy and impact. So yes, Ruth, I am early because I'm in Pennsylvania, and here in Philadelphia area, it is getting kind of late. And there's no time that's too early or late for people to transform their lives. So going back to this really quickly, guilt and shame create pieces of your identity that keep you small. If you don't feel like you're worthy, if you don't feel like you're ready, if you don't feel like you're innocent, you will hold yourself back, period. If you feel like you're guilty and shameful, you will eat the wrong foods. You will not treat your body the best way. You will not show up to receive in relationships the way that you really can. And not only in relationships, but in your relationship to life. You will not show up to receive. You'll think, well, why do I deserve the money? I was so bad with my money before, right? How many of you guys have really thought that? How many of you thought that before, right? Oh, the way that I showed up last time for this, I don't even deserve it to be right. Why would it be right this time? Oh, why do I deserve to have a body that feels strong and energetic when I did all of that binge eating last month, right? Like this really is what happens. And I have people that come to me for their relationship. I have a lot of people that come to me for addiction reasons, right? And when they come to me for an addiction that has to do with food, let's say, or the way that they treat their body, and they're just like doing all the diets, they're doing all the things, and they can't figure out why am I not able to grasp it and reach it, turns out there's somebody that they're not forgiving. And mostly we can turn that back to themselves. Because what happens is, even when you're trying in your business, when you're trying in your dieting, when you're trying in your business, when you're trying in relationships that are failing, you have this moment of like, I'm trying, I feel like I'm giving my best, and then disappointment. Here comes the layer of guilt. Here comes the layer of shame. Here comes the compounding of trying again. And if you have decades of this, it can be really heavy. But I promise you this, that no matter what's happening in your life and what you've been through, there's still innocence in there. And I know that because I'm a freaking living testament of this. But not only me, guys, it's my clients too. Whenever we feel loved, and this is the key about why we return to love and why we always talk about love. When you feel loved, you feel like there's nothing wrong with you. How many of you guys can say that in truth right now? When you feel loved, and when you're around someone that you know loves you beyond condition, you feel safe, you feel like there's nothing wrong with you. Are you guys listening, or are you 7, 8 people on here just like totally like tuned out now? I want to know, because it's important to acknowledge this and interact with this, because when you do, you're putting that out into your own quantum field, into your own possibilities and realities. And unless we're saying, yes, this is true for me, we can't fully step into the new possibility, right? And life is too short, and your life could be 1 more day, your life could be 4 more decades, I don't know. But I have to say, no matter what it is too short for you to live in a way where you play fucking small. Like right now, you could have so much more love, joy, just expansiveness, abundance. It's all here for you. I'm not just bullshitting you. I'm someone that has lived this and totally transformed my life, totally transformed my relationships, the way I get to live, the way I get to relate. It's all here. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing it with you. And I really want to invite you to come back to these places where you recognize that you are innocent and that there's nothing wrong with you, so that you can really reach yourself into experiencing what is here for you. So take some time this weekend. Get clear. Where are you identifying and keeping yourself small as something that you've done in the past? And are you willing to be an absolute innocent, free child of divinity right now, and allowing yourself to reach further and say, why not me? Because the why not me, is it going to get too far if you're like, well, why not me? Well, I did those bad things. I never told anyone about these other things that I did. I was abused as a child, and everyone made me to feel like I was less than. Or I just feel like I don't belong when I get to certain places. I feel like I wouldn't know what to do with my money, because every time I get money, I waste it. Every time I get money, I make poor investments. Every time I try, I have the failure trauma of it not working. Why do I even try again? You see, why not me doesn't get far when you have guilt and shame. But when you release and fully acknowledge and pour love into your guilt and shame, and when you get into that space, then why not me goes further. Why not me? Because I deserve the best that life has to offer. Why not me? Because I've never done anything wrong. I've just been exploring, and I have the right to do this, and every human on this planet is just trying things out. And this is the way that I tried my life path. There's nothing wrong with it. Get to that place, guys. It's freedom, it's true liberation, and in that space, so much happens. So much happens. Now, I have to tell you that in your journey of finding this, you do need support. And if it's just you going to Spiritual Center every Sunday, Agape was one of my biggest support spaces, and guess what? It was freaking free. All I did, I remember being at Agape on days when I had $80 in my bank account, and that was like literally my net worth. In fact, no, because I had like collections and debt and all these things. So I was in negative net worth, but I would be going to Agape like so, religiously. And I would be up in there praying, ready to see my divinity. And yes, it took years. But when I was committed and I got to a point where like I wasn't going out on the weekends. Hi, April. Hi, Angela. Hi, Lydia, again. So I would be going out on the weekends before, and I would do things. And I got to this point where I just really believed. And Michael Beckwith actually said this at a retreat once. He said, you can totally transform your life. And he said something about 3 years if you're totally committed, like if you go all in. So there was just a period where I stopped going out. And I was so broke that like it was stressful to think about how to pay for parking and stuff like that, but I just stopped going out. But you know what my support was? Going to Agape. There were free women's circles and stuff where it was like, maybe it was like a $10 donation, or it was by donation based only. I was committed to getting support. If you're just staying at home and you're listening to Facebook Live videos and watching YouTube videos, I really feel like that's still not totally enough, because it's not allowing you to open up and get into new energy, right? You've got to get out of your patterns, because you have energetic patterns and ways of being that will keep you closed. And when you get out and to get into these new ways, like for me, why I say Agape, you're hand-holding with other people. There's energy there. You have to make eye contact with people and speak truth into them. Agape is so uncomfortable. You guys read about it in my book. If you read about it, if you've never been to Agape and you're a totally closed off person, or you are living in guilt and shame, which will make you put up a barrier, and you'll notice the barrier that you don't like having eye contact and saying those deep things to other people, because you feel like they're going to see what's wrong with me, because you have this feeling of something's wrong with me. So going to places like that, if you have the financial resources, getting with a spiritual practitioner. I am a spiritual practitioner, someone that is not just a coach that's working just in the mind. You want people that know how to go deeper, right? You have to have people that can go deeper, and the people that are really anchored in universal truths. Because it doesn't matter what you throw at them. It doesn't matter what you say happened. Spiritual truth is transcending all of that bullshit. It supersedes all of that. So what I want you to do is to understand the difference between just working with coaches and then going into some true anchoring into what really is, right? Now, there's a time and space for everything. One more thing that I want to share, because some people feel like they are in this space of absolute chaos and they think that they're going to invest in a business strategy and it's going to like take them to next level. No, your soul is super strategic. Your soul is so strategic, it understands the strategies that you need to get to your next level, without a doubt. Your soul understands, your body knows how to keep you alive. You don't know how to keep your ass alive. You don't know how to keep you alive. You know how to keep yourself alive on a human level. Drink water, eat food, sleep. Your body knows more than that, right? It understands that when you take a breath, it's going to do whatever it does with that oxygen, and it's going to do what it needs to do to expel it and to create whatever you need to create to nourish your body. That's something you don't know. That's real strategy. Now, you think that you can't figure out some strategy about your business? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Now, I support people in business strategy, but people like to have certainty. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with having people show up and help you see something that maybe you don't see. But my point of this is that when you come back and realign with your absolute truth, that there's nothing wrong with you. And that you don't just say it up here, because for a lot of people, they're saying it up here, but the way they move about in the world is the opposite. They say it up there, but they're continuing to keep themselves from good. They say it up here, but they're like limiting themselves and living in lack and fear and scarcity. So we're bringing you into total alignment that you're safe in a spiritual space, in a mental space, in a physical space. You are fully safe. And when you feel like that, you open up to different things. You slow down a bit. You start looking at places and you respond versus react. Too many people are living in reaction, and that is causing negative crap in their life. And let's not even call it negative. Things they really don't desire. And then they wonder why their entire lifetime they're just living in a space of, why do I not ever get to where I really want to be? Why do I not get to the space of, oh my God, this feels amazing? Well, you've turned it down all the time. You keep saying, I can't afford it. I don't have the time. I don't know how. That's not for me. As long as you keep saying that, life is going to respond, of course you're right. Of course you're right. Of course you're right. This is what you're asking for. Natalie says, and do you guys have any other questions right now? Ask me. I'm happy to answer. Sarah, what's up, lady? I'm going to be talking to you on our session very soon. I was considering getting into a business because it would make money. It was not for me at all, but I still wanted to do it just because of the money. It's not good if it's not meant to do that specific thing. Absolutely. I have to tell you guys, I personally have been shopping for, and you guys don't reach out to me and message me. I don't want to be messaged about this. Not you guys specifically, but I'm saying just because people share where they're at doesn't mean that you send them a message. And especially if you don't know me, if you're my friend or a client and someone that I already have contact with, you can message me whenever you want. That's fine. But I'm talking about people that don't know me all of a sudden message me about a business opportunity. And no, just because I'm sharing something that I'm working on my own time. That's my boundary. I'm just publicly sharing it. So going back to this, I personally am looking for a second income. By the end of this year, I want 2 income streams. My real estate portfolio to be a real living thing. Also, I want a second business to be bringing me money in. So we should always be looking for that. Now, Natalie, I would say this, and this is a funny thing how people feel with affiliate marketing, network marketing. They're like, I don't want to do it because they're so scared of that $250 investment in the beginning. My thing is, don't be afraid of those things. Go and research, but like you just said, it should feel really aligned for you. It should feel really aligned with you. I'm researching these companies right now and testing some of them out, and I'm going to do something that feels really aligned with me because you know what? I deserve to make more money and I want to help people in new ways. But you see, if we have these beliefs that, oh, every time I try something, it doesn't work out. That's attached to a past something, right? Every time I go on a date, it doesn't work out, so I'm not going to do it. Past something. Every time I try to lose weight and I get so excited, I don't want to feel disappointed anymore. So I'm just not going to try it again. Now, this may not even be happening on a conscious level because what's happening is you are so like ready. There's part of you, like your soul is like, let's go. We got this. We are infinitely resourced and we are powerful and capable and you deserve this. But you have that other deeper programming, the one that you're not conscious of, that's saying, you always mess up. It never works out. You're going to be disappointed again. Didn't that hurt last time? Aren't you tired of being hurt? Aren't you tired of feeling this way? And then you have all of the other people in your life that are probably running with these same unconscious programs where they're tired of being disappointed. They feel like it never works out. It always hurts. So they're like, why are you even trying that? They never work. I talked to my dad yesterday and I was telling him about an opportunity I'm about to get involved in. And he goes, is that a pyramid scheme? I said, Dad, you call everything a pyramid scheme. I have to tell you that I have lots of friends that make millions of dollars a year in the pyramid scheme. So like, there's nothing wrong with them. It's not really, that's not real. There's some companies that may have been that way. Like the Fire Festival is like something that was really shady that people bought into. If you guys haven't watched that on Netflix, go watch it. It's really entertaining. That's going off on a whole other thing, right? So what I want you to do is to just examine your fear, examine your guilt, examine your shame. If you're someone that needs support with these things and you are ready to invest in having a new life, guys, having a new life is fucking priceless, okay? So if you're someone that's like, oh, my money's better well spent, buying this toy. No, it's not. Quit lying to yourself. Why? That is not going to add more value to your life. Maybe it's a temporary thing. It's temporary. I want you to look at where in your life are you allowing guilt and shame to become an identity? And are you ready to go into the deepest places? Let's call them dark. They're your shadows. Are you willing to go into the deepest places and just shut your mouth for a little bit? Quit trying to create even the stories around them and just go in, because that's where I play, right? And I have clients that they don't want to just be quiet sometimes, and I have to tell them, guys, we don't got to keep making stories about this. Let's not even say like, well, it's because my mom did this to me and my dad said that to me. Let's just drop those stories. Let's just go in, right? And it's like, we're really just going in. You're just going to close your eyes. You're just going to breathe this certain way. There's many different ways. You're just going to breathe this certain way, and I'm going to guide you into a place, and you get to see for real what's making you feel that way. Because sometimes we develop the stories and they create another barrier for us. Sometimes we just got to drop on into the feeling, and how does your body respond? What's there for you? So hi Astrid, hi Dennis. So going into all of this, we're just looking at those two emotional barriers, guilt and shame, and how they play out. And just a quick super recap is, if you're someone that's been in a relationship that has made you feel neglected, if you were neglected or abused as a child, if you were someone that has tried things multiple times and it doesn't work out, hello, that's most humans, you probably have these energies of guilt and shame and feeling like it doesn't work. It's not going to work for me. So if you're like that, just take this weekend, spend some sweet time, that sweet sacred time, and start asking the questions to get free and liberated from this. Cry the tears. You're not going to release guilt and shame without crying tears. They could be tears of actually processing the emotion, or they could be tears of laughter and joy, like, really? Really? This has held me back? This has held me back? Because you will cry, because it's such a beautiful experience to find that freedom, right? I share that in my book, and I share this in my book, and when I share about the time where I felt valuable for the first time, like true, like innate value, like divinity, like it was attached to nothing external. It was just me being alive and the only one of me. And when I felt that value, that true value, oh my God, like tears were streaming down my cheeks, and I had to like literally walk up and get out of the agape service I was in. I was at agape. Why do all these things always happen at agape? I love agape. But I had to let it just come on out, because it was me seeing myself for like the first time. And we have to be willing to go in those deep places. And it doesn't happen just by going to agape. It happens by you doing the work every single day. Every single day. So you have to look at, like, what did you do today for your mindset? What did you do for today to like reconnect to your soul and the truth that's there for you? So guys, have a beautiful day. I'm gonna clear my energy and space before I have my client in 30 minutes, but I wanna send you guys so much love. 2 things. If you feel like you want support in going into these places, not in processing, you and I aren't gonna do a lot of talking. We're gonna do some deeper work. If you wanna do something like that and you're ready to make that sort of time, financial, emotional commitment, reach out to me, right? There's limited spaces for that kind of work. And also, Harmonious Hustle Live is like a really low cost investment for someone that wants to be in LA and have a deep weekend of having a container, of feeling safe, and to having that love. Guys, the tickets are only $247. Like, buy a ticket. There's no reason not to buy a ticket. Anyone can afford $247. You could call 2 people right now and borrow money from them. You have $247. Like, why? I'm somebody that, like, and this is why I was saying, when I was in Bali, I made a post about this. This is important for all of you guys that are coaches and people that help people grow, that when you don't call people to pay for what they need to do to grow, you keep them small. You're agreeing to their limitations. And I want to remind you that I am someone that was like financially, most people would call destitute. Like, I did not have the money. I was living in a place that someone gave me discounted for temporary because it was like what I had money for. I'm a single mom. I had to pay for us to live and to eat. But when I found out that there was this Tony Robbins event, I was like, I have got to get there. I need to pay for a flight. I need to pay $600 for the ticket. And when it came time to get there, I think I used like tax money to get there, but I had to borrow money to like live while I was at the event. But while I was at that event, I saw that I had to write my book. Like, get the fuck out of your way, write the book. Now, if I didn't go through all of that financial irresponsibility, as people would call it, then I wouldn't have had it. So when I tell you those kinds of things, like do whatever it takes to get there, you have to really check in with yourself. Like, does this feel exciting on a soul level? Like, is my soul saying that if I go here that there's going to be something new for me? Because I just believe that there's things that are more important than money. Money is so replenishable. You expressing your good, you using your time while you're here, you being in relationships that feel good, that stuff is priceless. So you get to decide. That's all for you to decide. I'm just explaining that these are opportunities that can change your life. If you're a coach, one more final thing. If you are a coach, health, wellness, fitness, life, success, whatever, and you want to take people deeper, because a lot of coaches these days are working only in the intellect and they only know how to do things with people where they're pushing, like, just do this, just do that, and they're doing mindset strategy. If you are someone like that and you want to go a hell of a lot deeper, you want to have tools and techniques that can take people into places that you really can't do the work, it's like you're taking them in to do their own sort of psychic strategy, psychic surgeries of sorts, and allowing them to do their own like cellular expansion and healing. If you want to do that kind of work, then message me, because there's still space left for my own method that I'm training only 3 people in. And there's not 3 spaces available right now, but I'm only taking 3 of them. And we're going to go through a 6-week program, and it's really very experiential. So you're going to go through the process yourself, but you got to commit to doing the work in between too. So if you really want to stretch and grow, and also, of course, your impact and income is going to multiply after this. If that's something that speaks to you, message me. Would love to have you for that. We start that the 1st of March, and then your actual first private session will be the next week. So guys, have a beautiful weekend. Share this with someone that you know needs it. Let me know how it impacts you. I'd love to hear that. And do the freaking work. I see Natalie says, never thought about being something to examine. Examine everything. Everything needs examined. Everything needs examined. If you're looking around and you're feeling like, I'm not living my best life right now. Like, I'm living my best life in so many ways, but I know there's a next level. And I'm always like, fuck it, how can I rip off the top and just go in and just surrender? Part of it is like me doing events like Harmonious Hustle Live, which is a big investment financially. It's a big investment emotionally. It's scary to say, I'm going to do something I've never done, but you know what? It's going to take me to where I want to go. I see myself leading major events with hundreds of people and feeling all of that juiciness for a weekend. I got to first do it by having a big event for 100 people. We got to start and we got to go. We don't have time to play, guys. Jump in and feel all of it. The fear, the excitement, the joy, and allow yourself to say yes to your best life now. So have a beautiful weekend. We'll talk soon. Bye, guys. Hi, Haley. Hi, Dave. Hi, Angelo. I invite you to watch this from the beginning because it's a really good video. Lesson, if I say so myself. Bye, guys.